Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba Ki Jai. Okay, I was waiting for someone to come up, so Etienne can come.
Namaste.
Namaste, my dear. Namaste.
You hear me, yes?
Yes, thankfully, yes. Very
I was not thinking of coming up at all, but I feel so blessed to join this Sangha and of all the Sanghas in the world. And I had just a visit of a Sangha member of the man I didn't know. He just came to Paris and needed a place, and it was a beautiful meeting. And through our sharing again, he asked me about the Sangha and how is the Sangha living and so on. And yeah, because he was so genuine and so truly asking, it just brought me to say how precious the Sangha is. And how much potential is in the Sangha. And because Sangha is just God's real play on earth, and all the creativity of the world is what is happening in the Sangha, because it is just recognizing the not only the potential but the beauty of what is already here. And I felt to express to him how much the nakedness that the satsang is allowing is opening in possibilities in of loving expression, not only in satsang, but satsang is the whole of life.
Yes.
And so just to I felt now just hearing this song and I just felt to share this freshly, because we are just unveiling this immensity
Yes.
with you.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you so much for the simplicity and humility of your sharing, which opens so much to this potential, which is immense. We can do so, on so many levels
Yes.
from the heart.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
सत्याम एक लेके आओ तो जाओ.
I lost your image.
No, there was another one whose mic
Okay.
was open. So thank you for this report, and it touches my heart. Thank you for sharing, and I'm very happy to hear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you also because to feel how much you are opening your way with Guruji
Yes.
in his flow, in your flow and in his flow is so marvelous. It is just opening this trust and this faith in the way of the heart, as you call it so beautifully. It is just showing us what a Sangha is. It is just showing us what a Sangha is, and each of us can trust his heart in this way. Bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for those beautiful words, and you're completely right, of course, about the Sangha. In terms of this expression here, and whether he's being at all effective in pointing to what is truly found in the heart, I don't know what I would say about that. But the feeling, the intention in my heart is to bring this to all of you, to make it your living experience, and make your life about being in His presence, being in God's light. Because what has been clearly seen here is that life not lived in God is not life at all. It's not anything close to what life can be. And most of us, most of our brothers and sisters in this world, at least the ones who are spiritual, seem to be caught in an idea of, yes, God is, but I think, is it? And that but I think then clouds the immense immensity of what is present. So in a way, my job is very simple, to just allow you to let go of the but I think part, by showing you that the magnificence of His presence can never be given up or exchanged for even our highest ideas about ourselves. So there are many, many strange, absurd games which God has designed in this world, in this Leela. The first is to put a cloud of ignorance over the fact that God is present within ourselves. That itself is immensely absurd, isn't it? It's unfathomably absurd how that is even possible, and how He has made it possible is a strange miracle, in the sense that how a bit of self-importance and self-concern can cloud that which is the most obvious, the only obviously present being, is sheer absurdity. That's the first absurdity. The second absurdity is that even after we come to the discovery of that, even after all of us come to the discovery of that, it is still possible to exchange His light for the taste of wanting to be right or knowing something. It's quite quite a strange game, and that's why the attempt from here has been to remind you that the presence that you are discovering within yourselves is not some mere biological or chemical reaction. It is the presence of God itself. And there is no capacity within our mind to actually fathom that pointing or invitation. But somewhere in your heart you can meet this. The presence that you are experiencing is not a product of your body, it is not a product of the world, it is not a product of the universe. It is beyond all of these things. And it is the presence of the highest being that we call God. So, and most of you have this insight as well as information. You have both the insight for most of you, and all of you, of course, if you've been hearing Satsang, have this information, which hopefully will convert into insight if it hasn't already. But what is astounding is the ability to exchange this, or even to use the word you use, the potential of living in this, to exchange that for something which is purely ephemeral and not of any substance, is sheer Maya. You see, I don't know what else to call it. It's sheer Maya, sheer Mayaness which is the sheer madness in some sense. So thank you for starting Satsang with such a heartfelt report. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the light you bring on now, even because, as you say, I said potential because it is becoming apparent
Yes.
that the power is not of the mind, and the power of loving.
Yes.
You know, I quoted to him a quote from Saint Augustine: "Love and do what you will. Love and do what you will." And this is so powerful. And I'm sure you know in which words it is part of, and it is wonderful. I just read it recently, the whole text of what he was sharing at that time, and you could feel what he's been fighting for. And so these words come from a real big conviction, more than conviction, knowing of the power of love. And it's so, and I feel very much you're helping us to unveil this power. And thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing the beautiful words of Saint Augustine as well. Thank you very much.
I recommend them so much to everyone.
So would I completely. There are two beautiful books that I've had the honor and privilege to come across. The first is Confessions, and the second is The City of God. Both are very beautiful books by the marvelous sage.
Yeah, and even not reading the books because I didn't, but maybe I will. But only the sermon in which these words are only this, it could be enough for one life. It is amazing because he speaks of God in a way, in a beautiful, such a beautiful way. And it remembered me of you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to mute everyone for a moment and then we'll come back. All right, let's go to Shraddha. Yeah.
Namaste, Ananta-ji. Namaste. Namaste, Sangha. I just, it's funny when Etienne, who has been a deep friend, especially about a month ago, so thank you, Etienne, it's lovely to be with you again, came forward with the power of the Sangha. It's just, it's the same light that's so alive here, is the extraordinary preciousness of this company, the constant reminding of this company, a place where God is here in this world in reflection in ways that, sometimes in other environments is forgotten. So I can testify that putting this first works.
Very good. Very good.
As you've been helping me to do, even in the throes of a lot in the body and mind, that it's possible to stay here in the unborn, that it's possible. And the reflection that you provide, that Guruji provides, and that the Sangha provides in that. I feel I would just be lost without it. You know, it's changed everything.
Yes.
It's changed everything. And so I just wanted to express my gratitude for that. And Etienne's words just came right out of my heart. So same.
Thank you, my dear. What's coming to say is that if we get used to different, you see, if we get used to different, that is very helpful, because otherwise what will happen is that we will want to include God in our pre-existing framework, in our pre-existing constructs. And if we are prepared to let go of all of these constructs and get used to different, then to switch from the way of the head to the way of the heart will not seem as much of a struggle as it often does. So we must not expect that upon the discovery of God within ourselves, which is the highest discovery that we can make, that should conveniently leave the rest of me as it is. You see? It is not going to leave the rest of you, especially given that the rest of you is just made up. It is false. So it is not going to leave the rest of you as it is. And a lot of resistance to satsang and a lot of fighting inwardly in satsang comes because of that we are not able to frame this new discovery in constructs which will leave the remnants of me intact. And then the whole gravitation towards vomiting it all out, you see, in God's light, we have to let go of the false me, and that impulse, that momentum becomes so much that it can seem fearful. We can seem fearful at times, and yet it is important to let that all go, because although it may seem very simple, and we've heard this, like I've heard this since the beginning of the spiritual path, that the whole path is moving from the head to the heart. But actually, in that journey, like Guruji says, the one who started the journey does not exist at the end of the journey. Is finished by the process. So what can happen is that it can just feel like, okay, now I am still around, and I was like this, and now I'm like this. Little bit now will change in my life, but actually it's a completely new life. Not externally it can stay the same or be completely different, but some of you may be able to testify to this already, that it is nothing like our old life. It's a completely new life, and the withdrawal symptoms of our old ways may sometimes make us fearful, make us want to run, and all of these things may come along the way. But you realize already, all of us realize already in our heart, that once we have a taste of this, there is no other way to really live. There is no other way to really live.
And thank you for leveling that part of me that is like holding on to an experience of recognition and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is part of the whole what I've recently been calling the scientific approach to the scientific sort of framework in which we try to find God. So what can happen is that in science, what would happen is you would do an experiment, and then that experiment would succeed, and then you could claim ownership over that experiment, and for everything you could refer back to that experiment and say, hey, that is it. You mix, you mix some sodium and you mix some hydrogen and you mix some whatever, and there, boom, that is what it is. And it's a proven sort of experience. But the discovery of God and that which is aware even of the presence of God cannot be relied upon in that way from prior contemplation, from prior experimentation. It must always be referred to moment to moment. At best, the memory of the prior experience can be a pointer for us to find that holy presence within us in this moment. But if it doesn't do that, then it is completely valueless. In fact, it's not just valueless, it's big trouble. You see, because then it can serve as a replacement for true insight right now. You just go to a memory and say, yes, 3 years ago, I wasn't even there. 3 years ago, I wasn't even there. That must mean something, you see. That must mean that I'm free, or that must mean something about my recognition of the self. But it cannot be that. It has to be about now. Why 3 years ago? Is God not here now? That we have to rely on the past for his memory. It's like you're sitting with someone. Suppose we're having this conversation, and I tell you, Shraddha, I really miss you. You see? You'll be like, Ananta-ji, I'm right here. No, but I really miss you from 2 years ago or 1 year ago. So you should ask, but I'm here, just here. So what is the value of, except as a pointer, except as a reminder, what is the value of a prior experience of God? You see? Because that value is only for the spiritual ego and not for the reality of God. So we can only rely on the past of something when we're not truly meeting it in the present. So this is the possibility that is ever present, and it must be moment to moment. If it ceases to be moment to moment, then it just becomes about spiritual pride and things like that. So
I know nothing about any of that.
yes.
Yeah.
This whole Sangha is so beyond any pride. I just think, generally speaking, maybe somebody else will watch this video.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just going along with that fun game, but this is very, very sneaky. It's very tricky. So what can happen is the ego wants to plant its flag upon the self also and say, claim it as an object of our discovery, like it's a moon or something, where, okay, I've set foot on the moon, here's the flag. Of course, many don't, in America especially, don't buy the notion of the moon landing, but we're not going to get into any conspiracy theories, but I'm just saying that God is not like that. The value of the discovery of God is only if it is present now. It doesn't matter if you were the highest sage 1 minute ago, or we were the highest sinner 1 minute ago. What matters is right now. And if God is here now, then what else can matter? You see? So then either we have a wheel of delusion about that, about God's presence, or our mind has convinced us that something else is also relevant. So my job is just to keep reminding all of you that it just cannot be. Nothing else can be relevant when God is here, especially what is happening with me. You see? Especially what's happening with me, because it is non-existent. And this is the bane of the spiritual seeker, that most spiritual seekers, or most who are spiritual because of me and not because of God. You see? For them, God is a means to an end, where God should help me come to the highest version of me, become the most peaceful idea of me, have a joyful life for me. So then God becomes secondary as a way to help me. So we're looking for service from God by pretending to be in service to it.
That's a big ouch, because it's true. It hurts
Yes.
to hear that.
And what happens is that all of that seems perfectly acceptable in spirituality. You see, but it's not, of course, it's not framed that way. It's not framed in this way. But I can't see any other way of framing it which is true. Because if you really ask, what is most spirituality in the world about, maybe most will say that it is to come to a joyful and peaceful life for me using God.
Or about feeling better here. That's been used a lot.
Feeling better
Feeling better, whatever
through
that
the
even means.
through the means of God, through the use of God in some way,
Yeah.
And that can seem perfectly acceptable. But I want to tell you all that that is not what this is about. This is really about the reality of God's presence and how the me doesn't exist at all. And yet it seems to exist through the proposals, through the thoughts of our mind, which the aspect of consciousness which I call myself has the power to believe. You see? And no matter what we believe about this me, it will not make the non-existent one become existent. We can stuff ourselves with the highest sounding concepts about me, the most spiritual ideas about me. We can become the highest practitioners of Vedanta, Buddhism, Zen, Islam, Christianity, all these beautiful traditions. We may fill our heads with all the notions which are available there, but till we don't start to live in truly in God's light, it is still going to be about me, which is still a false life. So one of the most beautiful things about Vedanta is that it asks you the question straight up front. It says, are you real or is God real? Is there a substance to this me? Is there a tangibility to this me? Or is the only being, is the only existent presence that of God?
Well, it has to be because I can see like the idea of me here. I can sort of like feel it. This kind of contracted feeling and
Yes, but do you feel...
thoughts and ideas and...
Yes, but let's start the other way. Do we feel God's presence?
Yes.
Yes. Now, is that really God?
I didn't create it.
Yes, but is that really God? Do we have to infer based on some calculation whether that has to be God, or do we have an intuitive sense of it?
It just is.
Yeah. What is the answer? I'm not getting it clearly.
It just is. It's like...
Yes, but is it really God? The highest being, the one in whose light the universe is perceived and exists. Is it really that one?
How do I tell? I feel like the answer is yes. And then I think, well, there's like thinking about like, but how do I tell?
Yes, so leave the thinking aside until this becomes completely confirmed in your heart. Just remain as empty as you can with all your might. You see? Because to leave it halfway cooked, you see, which is that, yes, there is a presence here, and I'm aware even of that presence, and it always is. Therefore, then, you see, that therefore, then part must go away, and your Sadguru presence within, the intuitive insight within, will make it as clear as day that this one is no one other than God Himself. You see? So don't rest on any calculation or equation that tells you, okay, therefore then. You see? Who is here? Whose presence dwells within you? Whose presence lives within your heart? This is a very, very literal question. It's very literal. It's not romanticized, it's not metaphor. It is completely literal. Whose presence is in your heart? You see? So allow this contemplation to unfold, and don't allow your mind to interfere at all. Because we are not going to spend our life in a presumption of the light within us being God's light, or a hope that yes, there is a presence. I hope it is God. You see, so we're not going to spend, because hope and fear are actually the same thing, which may sound strange to all of you. We'll talk about it in a while if we can, but there is not much difference between hope and fear. So it must go beyond hope and fear into a clear insight. I can tell you that this presence within myself is God's presence, the God, the highest being in this universe. And I can also tell you that what I'm saying is universal. It is true for all of us. because the self is one and this being is one. Although the waves on the surface may seem to be different in their texture and quality and expression. So, and yet it is incumbent upon every wave to recognize its reality as the ocean. So, if I say the presence within you is that the ocean, we cannot stop at the point where we say, it must be. It must be our discovery. It must be a living uh, presence. It must be our insight. And nothing else must be important for us inwardly while we are in this process of unfolding. Nothing else can be important for us because in reality, nothing else is important. It's between zombie life and true life. What can be more important? It is between living as if you're a lump of flesh or living in the light of the highest being in the universe. What else can be important? Nothing else is important. So, and all the tools are with you. You have the Atma Darshan Samadhi, you have the inquiries, you have so many satsangs, you have Guruji's invitation. So much is available to us. Whose presence is within you? So some of you may be here for the first time. So for them, the first question is there a presence within you? You see? So first it is important to come to that. Is there a presence within me, or is it just dead man walking? Is it just food? You see, this body made up of food. Is it just that? Is that all I am? Or is there a light? Is there a presence? Is there a being within myself? And that self is not a body, but the nirguna self. Is there such a being? Is there such a presence? Once you can confirm, yes, there is a presence, then the mind will confuse you and say, but how can I say that that is God's presence? I don't know. How can I conclude? It may just be me, it may just be some brain reaction or something like that. You see? So for them, you have to come to the discovery that this is God Himself. It's not enough to infer that. It is not even enough to conclude saying, oh, my master said it is God, so it must be God. You see, that is a good pointer to give you faith that you can come to this insight. But that faith cannot become conceptual knowledge and take the place of true insight. You see? So use the master's prodding, provocations, invitations to come to that discovery ourselves. Is that presence within you God's presence? Your mind will complain. It will say, but how can I know? I can't even confirm that it is boundless. I can't even confirm that it was born or not born. I can't confirm whether it will die when Guruji asks in the invitation. You see? You may whisper it and say, I'm scared to say this out loud, but the fact is, I can't confirm this. You see? But where is the master speaking from? How is it that he can confirm this? You see? And he has told you that the Sadguru is within your heart. The presence itself is the Sadguru presence. So get that confirmation intuitively. How will you know? The same way that you know love. You see? How will you know? How do you know love? You think love? You see, is love just a feeling that your love for your truly loved ones also is just a feeling that comes and goes? Is that your love? Or is there a stable love, an unconditional love? And often I say, even though the feeling may be irritation or frustration, you can still find the love for your parents, for your children, for your beloved. In the same way that you can know love is love, you will know God is God. You see, it can't really be spelled out much more than that. You see, how do you know that you love? How do you know that you are not this bundle of food? We all know this. You see, how do you know? Intuitively. And we rely on this intuitive insight a lot more than we realize. Many of you maybe did not want to come to Satsang today, and yet something brought you here. What is that? How do you know? So as we remain empty, all these insights will deepen. But I don't want any of you spending another moment being full of the false me, wasting time and not meeting God. You see? Because this whole game is about time. This whole game is only about time. You see? Because all of you, I know, have the complete intention to live in God. I have no doubt about your intention. You see? But you find a way to postpone it. You see? You find a way to postpone it. And if you... So here's the strangeness. So there is a presence. Most of you confirm that. Your master is saying that that is God's presence. You see? So that gap then, you see, that gap then, yes, there is a presence, but I don't know if it is God. That gap then should consume you. It should consume you fully, because we are talking about God here. You see, we're not talking about Tom Cruise or some Shah Rukh Khan or something like that. We are talking about God. So how is it that we can say, okay, let me finish my work first, or let me just take care of some other stuff and have some vacation to go to? And I'm not saying any of that has to stop. I'm just saying inwardly we must be consumed by this question then. You see? Because I'm saying it is God. And we are saying, I don't know really. Is there even a God? You see, these kind of doubts will come. You see? So this is where faith in your master comes into play, because either you're being faithful or devotional to somebody who's really deluded and stupid, or, or he's telling you the truth. But if he's telling you the truth and you can sense where it is coming from, that it is true, then how is it that you're not living that yet? You see? You see? And how is this then absence of meeting God not consuming you, not burning your ego completely? You see? So use this fire, because it is God, I don't know how else to say it. I was saying, I don't know whether this was in broadcast, but the other day I was saying that If I told you all of you were in the other room, in the Kendra here, in the house here, and I said to you, come fast, Krishna has come. Lord Krishna has come. You see? And you say, no, I'm just at the end of this book. It's a very good book. It's about the freedom and enlightenment. And a sage 2000 years ago has written it. I'm just finishing it. You see, I'm saying Krishna is here. Come. No. I'm working on my phone and I have an urgent message to send. My boss is waiting. Hello, I'm saying God is here. So I don't know how else to say it. So I'm telling you that the presence that you experience within yourself is God's being, is God's light. And I want this to be your insight. What else can be more important than that? And why am I emphasizing on what else can be more important? Not to make any of you feel guilty at all. It is only because till you're empty of self-concern, self-interest, and individual will, till you're empty of that, the meeting with God seems impossible in this Maya. That's why every satsang I repeat the analogy of the narrow lane. The lane is too narrow for both God and me. If there is me, there cannot be God. And if there is God, there cannot be me. The cup must be empty. So don't misunderstand the analogy of the empty cup in Zen to just be, okay, now I have to empty the cup and so that the master can provide fresh knowledge and fresh information, and I can store this fresh information because I've made space for it. It is not that. You empty the cup so that you can come to true insight. Because in Zen anyway, if you're understanding anything, you're completely off the mark. So it's not that you will replace old content with new content. It is to come to the insight of reality. Whose presence lives within you? It's very important. Because if I said to you, I feel your toe has an infection, you will run around for months trying to figure out what the infection is. I won't see you in satsang. But I'm telling you, there's a presence within you, and that presence is the highest being. And usually after satsang, it'll be like, हाँ होगा देखेंगे.
Mm. Thank you for your sword.
Yes, and I was not really ranting or chopping. I was just saying that this is the game that the mind plays.
Well, there's just so much recognition in it.
It confuses the value judgment completely and makes us as if we are living in an upside down world where that which is valueless is most important, and that which is most important seems like we can put it off for tomorrow. I used to get so irritated in school when they used to quote the simple words of Kabirji, and he said, if you're going to do it tomorrow, do it today. If you're going to do it today, do it now. Because the end is coming in a moment. Then we'll have no time. The end is coming any moment. When do we have time for this? This is the whole game that the mind is playing. It will say later, later, later. There's time. See, we don't know whether tomorrow you wake up with so much resistance towards satsang that I don't see you ever after that. Or you get caught up in some other idea, some other master may come, something may happen, some who knows, in this life so many temptations can come. And we don't know whether we'll ever turn truly towards God. But we have now. Everything is available to us now. You see? So let go of what you're thinking, let go of what you're feeling, let go of any condition in your life, events, everything. Inwardly become a total sadhu. Inwardly live as if you are dead already. Then we've set such a beautiful table for God to come to dinner. But if you still, and this is not just because your mic is open, this is not for you, I'm telling the whole Sangha. You see? So don't fall into that trap of trying to make your life into the perfect pie chart. You see, there's the physical aspect, there's a mental aspect, there's the emotional aspect, there's a spiritual aspect. So I come to satsang to take care of the spiritual aspect, then I do this, then I do that. You see, all of these things, and I'm trying to juggle all of this to create a perfect life for myself. And then what? You created the perfect life for yourself, probably spent 80 years doing it. And then what? So use this provocation. I'm telling you that there's something so far beyond what your mind can imagine. And that one is already in your heart. That reality is already in your heart. Not your biological heart, not your emotional heart, your spiritual core, your intuitive presence. That is the only way to find this one. So let go of all the faults, let go of all the ignorance inwardly, and let life take care of itself outwardly. You keep your eyes on God alone. And you see how different it is from the usual spirituality? Because in the usual spirituality, it's just like, if you breathe like this 50 times and you do this a little bit, then your life will be so much more peaceful and God is blessing you and you'll be just fine. Your life will be perfectly balanced. Here I'm saying, lead a completely unbalanced life. Completely unbalanced. Put God on one end of the scale. What else can you put on the other end? If God is on one end of the weighing scale, what will you balance it out with? How can you have one portion, one slice of the pie chart for God and the rest for other things? Is God really God? Or is God just a construct of our mind? In today's world, God has just become a construct of our mind. An availability of a divine force to help me, make me better. You see, it's just like God has become like a cloud. If you really go searching in that particular direction and you keep flying north, 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 then take a little bit of a left, you see, and go towards the west, and then take this slight right again, go back north. There you'll find this one, and that one will help you with everything that you want, and then you can live happily ever after. Isn't that most of spirituality? You see, except the instructions are different. But what I'm telling you is that all of this is nonsense. It's false. The real one is the only one whose life this is. This life is not the ego's life, the mind's life. This life is God's life. It is already God's life. You see? So to follow God's will and to love God with all our heart is not oppression. It is already God's life. You see? Just that this Maya, this Leela, this play is such that just to give this some juice or for some unexplainable, unfathomable reason, God has given to himself the possibility to take it to be something else, to value the non-existent ego. And then this game is being played of returning from that ignorance, avidya, into Atmagyan, Atmadarshan, self-knowledge, and true insight. So the mind can keep hypnotizing us. So I want to be very direct in what I'm saying. I have found God. God lives within myself. It is the God. There is no inferring there. It is not a deduction that I'm making. It is completely true. I am telling you that this is possible for you. Now you can say one of two things. One is that I don't want to follow you. You look like a deluded madman. You see? Or I trust you. I have faith in your words. I'm going to follow your way. And I'm saying your way because the way is more than the words. You see, the words change from time to time. They depend on the temperament and the experiences of the questioner. So all that may change. But the way is the way of the heart. If you can learn to follow the way, now what is your response? What is your stance? You see? But the third option that all of us have and we usually use is, yes, but, you see, I would rather any of you say that I I feel you're a deluded fool and you're just messing with us, so I don't want to listen to you. You see, or say, yes, I feel like I can follow this way and meet God. But the third one, which is the trickiest one, like, yes, but so that one can always trick us. You see? And most of it is that I don't want to follow your way. I'm making my own soup. You see, I'm going to make my own soup. I'm going to take little bit of Atma Darshan Samadhi from you. I will take little bit of this from here. I will do this little bit from here. I like all this stuff. It makes me very nice and comfortable. It all seems very sweet. Yeah. And it may work. I can't say it won't work, but there is no reason to do that. Yeah. There is no reason to do that.
Not with you around.
So to follow can seem like an attack on our independence. Okay? And that is why most of us resist it. So, but to follow is the simplest. To use that old example, is somebody standing on top of the hill and saying, come like this. I'm showing you the way. Just come like this, careful of that. Just come like this. You see? And he's like, no. I'm going to do this my way. I feel like I can go around the mountain 17 times and then I can drill a hole inside through there, and then I should be able to build a staircase in that hidden tunnel over there. And then ultimately, I feel that I'm going to get to the same point. Why? Because I want to be original. It's not worth it. You see, it's not worth it. Why do you have to be original? Somebody is calling you saying, come. I'm telling you, come. Yeah. So this is the all trickery from the mind. And say, like this, if you do like that, this is better for you. Actually, I like this one. You see, it's not about any of that. If you're going to be full of yourself, how will we meet God? So you must not call anyone your master. Don't call anyone your master till you value what they are pointing to more than you value your thoughts. Don't say guru, master. I'm saying again, generally speaking, Shraddha, on the mic. So it may seem like very choppy. I'm just generally saying that why do we call someone guru, master? It's actually the greatest privilege, but not only is it the greatest privilege, it's also the greatest convenience. The greatest convenience because they're just showing you the way. It's simple. But if we insist on doing this my way, while at the same time saying all I want to do is follow God's will, and yet you don't follow the one that you know in your heart is living in God's light, then the mind is winning. And soon it will be the end of this round again. And like Lakshman, we never got off our high horse. So be true to your heart. Are you living in God's light? Can you confirm that the presence within you is God? Are you surrendered to His will? Mhm. The shortest version of this is yes, God, but I think. Mhm.
True.
Yes, God is. But I think. So, this level of importance that we give to the non existent one, that is the dust in our eyes. We put it on a higher pedestal than God. I've been saying that suppose an infant could speak. An infant is born, and the mother is trying to feed the infant milk, and it's being fed, but the infant has developed now this ability to judge, to interpret, to say good, bad. So say, no, I don't want this stuff. I'm going to order some lactogen for myself. You see? So, you see, because I feel like that goes better for for my system. Because I think that's exactly what we are doing. Infantile is our mind compared to God's intelligence. And yet, and this is the apple, no? This is to take the bite from the apple of good and bad. We start to judge, we start to interpret, we start to live on our own terms, which we don't realize are not our terms. Our own terms are actually God's terms. So these are the terms of the proverbial snake. Most of you call me father, some of you call me Ananta, some of you call me Anantaji, whatever respect and love you have for me. How can I allow you to continue existing without truly living in God's light? And even if you didn't have a guru disciple relationship, or even Sangha relationship. How can I let my brothers and sisters in this world live as if God is just a concept? How do I bring everyone to Him? I don't know. That's why I was saying earlier that whether this expression is truly able to convey what is felt in the heart, I don't know. So all thousands of satsangs that we've had, all of them are nothing but me saying, come, 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 leave it, come. Just leave it, come. You see? In thousands of different ways, God has provided the words, but that's all that is being said. Just leave your toys, leave your toys. God is here in your heart. And what are these toys? These toys are self-importance, self-concern, self-will. Just leave them and come. Because it's God, it's the one that your heart is longing for. It's that one, the source of all love and light, that one, source of all wisdom, all creation, that one. It's not a better way to live. It's not a better way to live. It's the only true life. What is the other alternative? The other alternative is that this brother, this friend of yours is deluded. So if that is the case, then you help him, please. Take him to a doctor or something. You see? Just take him to a doctor because he's seriously deluded and needs help. Will you just allow him to live with his delusions? That would not be love. But you have to take a stand somewhere. So empty, die so that you can live, die to the false self, die to your limited self, become empty for God, or get this man some help. You can't be neutral about it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for whatever we were talking about that compelled this So that sort of triggered this to come out. But you realize that it was not a chopping or anything like that. It's just, I feel very grateful when someone gives me the opportunity to allow this heart to speak openly like this. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Helen.
Hello, Father.
India.
Oh, help.
Are you giving me some help?
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good.
I don't feel connected at the moment to God's presence.
Yeah.
It's overwhelmed by fear. I'm in this moment waiting for the results of a biopsy, whether I have breast cancer or not. And although I have moments of deep gratitude when I'm observing the immense fear that's coming up and a total understanding why it's happening and an immensity of love for God, most of the time this fear is running through and I'm trying to observe as best as I can, and it's with me right now. It's not happened yet. I'm with my phone at the moment, but I'm so surprised because I really feel like I don't fear death. And yet it's also so interesting that there's this immense fear. Is there such a thing as a primal fear in all of such a belief in the body that, I don't know, I just wanted your help. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. And firstly, all my love and full blessings that everything by Guruji's grace will be just fine. And may your life be full of ease and grace and joy and love. If that is His will, I pray that may it be so. But what is also important to consider is that today or 10 years later or 20 years later, at some point of time, this body has to go. So
You see, Father, yeah, is what I actually want the peaceful death. It's like the idea that I am going to die doesn't fill me with dread, but it's just I'm actually ready to die either in the body or die to ego. I'm ready. I'm not clinging to life. What I want is a resolution, is a kind of a peace with death. That's what my heart wishes for.
yes, so let's for a few minutes even let go of this that we want, like a peaceful resolution or a meeting with death which is empty of all resistance. Let's leave that also aside for now. Just completely fresh. Is there a presence within you right now?
Something yearning for it.
Yes, but are you confirming that it isn't there right now?
Yes, I know it. It's there. I know it.
It's here. Are you merely thinking that it's here, or can you intuitively sense its presence?
It's an intuition of a kind of magnificence or something. It's
Very
like,
good.
yeah,
That doesn't sound bad at all. So this presence, whose is it?
it's everywhere. It's everyone's.
Yes.
I don't know what to say.
Yes. Is it God?
Yes, it is God. So
So,
I mean, so entirely great.
yes. So God is here, and God's presence is apparent to you. What else can be?
Yeah, as I knew it, I knew it all along. Thank you, Father.
Yeah. It's that simple. And once we recognize that this is God, pure consciousness itself, pure supreme intelligence, the light of a billion universes, that one is so simply and naturally here.
My heart is bursting with it, Father,
Yes,
and it's immensity.
it's immensity, it's magnificence, like you said. Are we fooling ourselves?
You're not. Absolutely not.
Could the mind's version of our reality, which is just that we are this bundle of flesh, be true?
Doesn't come close, Father.
Doesn't come close. What is birth and death to you now?
No meaning.
What do we have to worry about?
Absolutely nothing. Thank you, Father.
So welcome, so welcome. Very welcome, my dear. I'm so happy that we could meet so directly and openly. And sometimes grace has to create these apparent situations for these meetings to happen in such simplicity and openness. Having said that, again, my blessings are completely with you, and may your body be completely healed of whatever afflictions it has by Guruji's grace, by God's grace. If it is His will, may you be completely healed from everything.
Thank you, Father. I love you so much.
Love you too, my dear.
Total trust.
Very good, very good, very good. You know, even the stories of our life are so empty of any light when they don't carry the fragrance of God.
Father.
And actually, there is no reason for anyone to live as if God is not here. There is never a good enough reason for anyone to live as if God is not here. Okay, one chat message has come, which I'm going to read out. It seems apt to read. So it says, so many times I called for help. I trusted you, no answer has come. I can't throw Guruji or you from my heart. I am throwing my heart now. This life does not have to be that complicated. So if you had a choice to throw your heart or the one that wanted anything, even help, which one would we throw? The one that can want presumes it knows better than God. That's how it can want. The one that is living in God's light already has. The one that has cannot want. The one that wants operates inherently on the notion that it knows better. That is what living on my own terms looks like. That is what it sounds like. So, how about we throw away that one and live empty of expectations? Because the one that we are trying to serve doesn't exist. The one that we take ourselves to be doesn't exist. So the non-existent one often acts as if it is the entitled one. And that is why Guruji has said, live as if you have no rights. It can sound strong. But what is being said? What he's saying is that empty of these things, that one will not seem so valuable to you, so important to you. That one is just a figment of our imagination between the time of birth and death. What is eternal about it? What is true about it? And that one will constantly say, you get away from these ones. See, they don't want to help you. They don't really care about you. I care about you, the mind. That is the one that cares about you. And yet you have seen this thousands of times already, even in the time that we've known each other, that every time you follow this one, you only increase your suffering. The only time you're free from your suffering is when you have let go. Do you love God or do you love the ego? If you love God, you can stay with God and don't worry what is happening to your ego. Okay, let's go to Sharat.
Thank you, Master.
You're welcome.
Actually, there is nothing to ask. Just want to say that let me
Just one
be.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, just want to say that let me be fully empty.
Yes. You said you want to be fully empty? No, I'm just asking for just to repeat because I couldn't hear.
Just I said like that. I want to be empty.
You want to be empty. Okay. You spot the trouble in that already or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just now I recognize.
Yes. When you are empty, you cannot want. And the wanting gets in the way of your being empty. Why do you want to be empty? Or why did you want to be empty? Let's say that. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. If it's gone, it's fine. It's fine.
Already.
Very good. When we are empty of grasping, wanting is nothing but grasping. That is when we are empty. Without the notion of being empty, or without the trying to be empty, or without the accomplishment of being empty, we don't become somebody who's empty. You see? We don't become somebody who's empty. We are just empty. So I bless you with full emptiness, no grasping, so that you can live in God's light, in God's presence. Be fully empty of these toys, as I call them today: self-importance, self-concern, and self-will. Self-importance means I am something, I am somebody. Self-concern means what is happening to me? Why is it not happening? When will it come? Why is my life like this? All that is self-concern. And self-will is I want. I want. Be empty even of the notion of freedom, the notion of enlightenment. It is not in the notions. Actually, they are nothing. They're just words. Don't worry. Don't try to get anything that a word can point to. Everything that has an opposite, forget about it. If freedom has an opposite bondage, forget about freedom and bondage. If enlightenment has an opposite unenlightened, then forget about both. Forget every opposite. Very good, very good. All my love, all my blessing. Let's go to Jason.
Hello, Ananta-ji. Thank you.
Welcome.
I just feel to put myself forward again, and because I again and again find myself so identified with this body, and it's not feeling the presence of God, and it's just not acceptable to not know God in this life, and
Yes.
so I ask for your help.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Are you saying that there is a presence, but I don't know if it is God? Or are you saying that there is no presence at all?
I could say that I am, or I exist.
Yes. So that I am, who is amming, who is being, is that Jason?
Mm.
What is Jason like about that I?
This I seems to be connected with a lot of things, especially with body sensation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before it gets connected, let's meet it before it's connected. I mean, let's not worry about anything it is connected to. Let's just talk about it itself.
Yeah.
Tell me about this I amness. What is its boundary? Where is it located?
So
Go ahead.
I cannot really say anything about it because it has no shape.
It has no shape, and yet we call it I am. Is it you? Is it your presence?
Yes, that's why it's called I.
Yes, it's your presence, and it is shapeless. So are you saying that you are shapeless?
Yes.
Does it have a start, an end?
I don't know. Sorry.
Yes. So don't worry about not knowing the right answer. Use it as an opportunity to dive deep within to find out. Don't exchange this contemplation about whose presence this is within you for any other temptation from the mind. Nothing else is important or worth it. On one hand, there is a chance of the discovery of true God, and on the other hand is something just momentary, is going to die soon anyway. So let the mind come and tempt you with everything else. You stay with the presence with all your might, and don't form any conclusions in your head. Those conclusions will only get in your way. Leave the space empty for God. Don't fill it up with your ideas. What's happened? You can make a report if you like. What's happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's long to be here with God, with who I am. Yeah.
You're longing to be with God, you said?
Yes.
Yes, very good, very good. Hang on to that longing in your heart. but don't let your head infect that longing. You see, because that the head will infect the longing and make it a wanting. And there's a huge difference between longing and wanting. Because wanting is full of suffering, wanting is full of ego, and longing is pure love for God. So if your head starts to participate in the longing, it will bring along wanting, grasping, and suffering. So stay with the longing in your heart, stay with the love for God in your heart. The longing is like the compass pointing you back home. So follow it to its source. But if you let the mind come and make interpretations and judgments, then that will just confuse you and waste your time. What is if you can check now, what is the source of this longing? Where does it come from?
I feel it comes from a place where I know who I am, I know God is. It's not foreign to me.
Yes. You know it intuitively, isn't it? You know it not through thinking and not through perception, but you know it unspeakably.
Yes, it feels sometimes a little bit like a memory, like from
Feels like a
childhood as some original place.
Yes, yes. That is why it's also called a recognition, a recognition, where it can feel so familiar. You see? So nobody has come to the discovery or the insight of themselves and said, oh, this is completely new, this is brand new territory. You see? It always feels like a recognition, a remembrance. Yes. So stay away from all interpretations and judgments from the mind and stay fully in your heart. Full blessings are with you. May you remain always in God's light. Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, let's go to Devi.
Hello.
Hello, my dear.
Thank you. I just felt to say, like, sometimes when you guide us, I just feel like my mind can be so tricky. So I really feel I need grace. Like grace is the one that can make a genuine seeing inside my heart. And I also feel compared to before, there is more trust in this grace. Like I don't have to do it myself, and I can just be here and follow as best as I can. And yeah, I just felt to say that, like, this trickiness of the mind sometimes can feel this, like, a bit
Yes, yes, yes.
it
Bit of
feels too much.
Yes.
Yeah, like it feels like, oh,
Can't
it's
handle it.
just
It's too
never.
much. It's too much. Yes. It's
But
too
yeah,
smart for us to deal with. Is it like that?
yes, like I feel also maybe I gave in into some tricky thoughts, and they build up, and now it's hard to really genuinely recognize this, because the mind is so tricky there and can imitate, like,
Yeah.
can.
It can play
But
out.
yeah,
I'm very happy to hear that you're trusting grace so much more. Very, very good. That's very good. Yes, I can see that there's much more presence which is shining through you than there was before. So I'm very happy, and
Thank you.
keep going like this by Guruji's grace. All this is beautifully unfolding.
Yes. And I ask for your grace to take away this fakeness, whatever is false and I cannot see through, just to help me really be in my heart and to live from there and to be, just true. And
And this is a deepening, it's a ever deepening thing. And although God is complete and absolute every moment, yet our meeting with God is ever sweetening and ever alive and full of awe and love. So as long as we have the sense that I'm learning to trust more, I'm trusting His grace more, all is well, we are taken care of.
but it does need reminding, because sometimes in the
Yeah.
week I just fall off this and then you remind us, and
It does
it's
need
really
reminding. It does
yeah.
need. I'm no to that. Definitely does need reminding, and that is why satsang is very important.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels so impossible in the beginning, and then at the end it's like it's amazing how it can change. So
Very
thank you for this. And
well. Yeah. Bless you, bless you. Okay, let's go to Shivoham. Yeah, we need to send a messenger after this boy, no?
Hello.
Yeah. Good to see you.
I just wanted to come and can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, and to stand in front of you and the Sangha and say that I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding.
Very good. Very good.
Even though things are going in a way that I didn't predict, and somehow, I wanted to talk to you about this also because, the idea was to come back, and but I'm here, and somehow I don't want this to be like a conflict in me, and to see. And this is also something I wanted to talk with you, that somehow the conflict is less and less. There is less battle here somehow about things and about and I just wanted to speak to you about this. And
Yes, it's completely fine. I'm very happy to hear you and to see you. Yes, and life can flow this way. It's completely fine. We can have certain ideas, and but life has its own momentum. It has its own flow, and as long as we're living in the heart, we're living in God's will, then there is no the notion of distance and things like that cannot really get in the way. If you find yourself living empty, living in the unborn, then all the rest is secondary to that. So in hearing you, I'm not getting the sense that you are being forced to live in the way of the mind or something like that. So I'm happy to see that you're well and things seem to be fine. But now your expression has changed, so you can share what happened.
I'm just so happy to hear you.
Very good, very good. I know that. Okay, now should I keep talking? Love you very much. All my love you so much.
I love you too.
But if you keep talking like this, I'm going to call you back, okay? So you better decide.
Yeah, I would love to come back. Also, let's see. I hope to.
I heard that you have a job now and things are going well, so there's no rush. Don't worry.
But everything is I didn't want any of this somehow.
Yeah.
This is why I trust this somehow, because it's
organic.
happening. It's self. Yes,
Okay.
and so I'm doing like this.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
As much as I can, and
very good. My full blessings, and of course, your home is always here. You're very welcome.
yeah, I know that, Father, and please, yeah, yes, that's.
Are you getting the chance to hear satsang at least once a week or no?
Yes. This week, because I was working a lot for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, even though I was always in satsang listening somehow when I could, even short stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, from this week I could be here on Monday and Wednesday also. And so yes, so beautiful. Yes.
Like Devi was saying earlier, just it's very good to live openly, but just to hear the reminders of the presence and words of satsang at least once a week is
yes, it's true.
Very important. So.
Yes. And I wanted to thank you, Atma, that she wrote me, she sent me a message today, and it moves me a lot. Yeah, it was, and it's so nice to hear from the Sangha, and it's so nice to have the Sangha checking in, and also Radha, and so it's beautiful to be in touch with you, and that you. And that you care, and somehow you. How are you, brother? How is it going? Tell me. It's so nice. And I love you so much, Father. So much, and so nice to see you, and so nice to speak with you. And thank you again.
So welcome. I love you so much. I love to your family, your Ilari? No, how do you pronounce it?
Yes, Ilaria. And also your blessings to come soon with her, because
Yes,
I
yes.
feel she's getting more
Yes, yes.
somehow near, clear. I don't know. I
Have you
think it would
resolved
be very nice.
Have you resolved the passport situation or?
Well, it's now, yeah, actually, because we didn't think about that, but it should be more easier, I think now. Let's see. Yeah.
Very good.
Because we didn't plan anything, but just your, asking for your blessings to be able to come soon. And
Very good, very good.
yeah.
Just it may be good to just keep the passport ready and then
Yeah. Yes.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
All my love, all my blessings.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Jyotima is asking you to cook something, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Amrita.
Namaste, Father.
Yeah, dear. Very good. Today is better connection, no? Seems very clear and well. Did I speak too soon? Where did she go? Look at that. Maybe she just wanted to say namaste. Okay, maybe we go to the next one and come back. Let's go to Samya. Samya is coming. Okay, doesn't look like it. Let's go to Sharon.
Namaste.
Namaste, my dear.
Hello. I feel to check in about something, like something that often pulls me into mind, because often I have appointments in the future. Like tomorrow, I go normally on camping holiday with my brother, but often Satsang calls, like you stay here and you sit now, and then I need to cancel the appointment, you know. And that calls upon fear. Like also now, instead of fully diving in and letting go of that control, that not knowing what comes, I'm a bit in my mind to that appointment that I maybe will have to cancel because Satsang is calling me, you know. And it's now for some months that this is playing.
So,
and I feel to give it to the light, you know.
Yes. Okay, so let's look at this together. So if I've understood correctly, you're saying that usually you have these camping trips with your brother on the weekends on Saturday, but say again? Okay. Yeah.
No, it can be other appointments.
Other
This is
things as
now
well.
what's coming tomorrow, but it can be other appointments that sometimes I feel Satsang is calling and I need to leave the appointments that I have made. Yes. It doesn't matter if it's with my brother or something else, but just
Okay. Any appointments, any of the meetings
Yes.
are prefixed. Then in that moment you feel, and it feels clear that that is coming from the heart. It is coming intuitively that you should hear satsang at that point.
I don't know if that's clear, you know. It can also be a fear to leave satsang, you know.
I see what you're saying.
And that's the thing that I'm not sure of. Is it that it's truly satsang is calling, or is it a fear to leave satsang?
Yes. I see. Okay, very good, very good. So it's good that you spotted that, because the mind can also play that way. You see, where it says, no, it's better if you stay in satsang and don't leave it because you could miss out. You leave your freedom or God or something like
Yes.
that. So it can play in that way at times. So it's very important to remain in true satsang. True satsang is the company of the truth, satsang. So true satsang is to remain in God's light, in God's presence, and to follow God's will unquestioningly. So if God says, stay at home and listen to satsang, in spite of the most important seeming appointment in the world, we must follow God's will. But before we can do that, we must make sure that it is coming from intuition, it is coming from the heart, because the spiritual sounding mind, you see, is the voice of the spiritual ego. It is wanting to make a spiritual persona out of us, a spiritual person out of us, and that one is not in service to God. So how do we distinguish between the mind's voice and the heart's voice? That can be at the core of the question, isn't it? So how can I tell whether this that I'm feeling like following is truly coming from my heart? You see, so I'll give you some tips about this and we can talk more about this. So for those who feel like they don't have a clear sense of the presence of God within them, because if you had a clear sense of the presence of God within you, then your heart's voice will very obviously be coming from that presence. It'll seem like that one is speaking. That one is speaking these words. This guidance is coming from there. And speaking doesn't have to be audio. It can just be that one is directing us in a certain way. But if that seems a bit confusing, what you could rely on is a simpler thing, which is that you feel the presence of unconditional love when you're being guided in this way. If you're feeling the presence of unconditional love and your intention to follow God, those are enough to point you intuitively, point you through the Sadguru presence. See? That is the easiest. But sometimes the mind can be tricky and pretend to speak very sweetly and lovingly and say, oh, my dear child, I feel like it's better if you're in satsang. So that love, but your intention to follow God itself is a good enough thing to start with to make even tricks of the mind turn into grace. So don't have to worry so much. Just try to follow your love in your heart and follow God's guidance. As you get used to it, the presence will become more and more apparent, and then the confusion will reduce because it will become clear that it is God's guidance. Many times the guidance will not even come in the form of some guidance, just the body will move in the presence in a certain way. You see, he'll start typing out a text, saying I have to cancel, or it'll start sending an email, or it'll start speaking, and you won't even realize how did this happen. You see, it's just the presence is moving your body, and like it is moving the world, we will notice that it is moving the body as well. Then the most clear and the most foolproof way to confirm it is coming from God's light and not from the ego is if your reality is apparent to you, yourself, which is beyond.
What means apparent? Sorry, I
Apparent?
don't understand that.
It's okay, it's okay. You can ask any question, don't worry. So, apparent means that it's a word that I use because the self is never visible like an object, isn't it? It's never visible like an object. You can never have the experience of it like a perception. And also you can't think about the self. The self that we think about is not the self. You see?
No.
So the recognition of the self is apparent only intuitively. Like we don't know how we know. You see? Like, so if I tell you, did you see the self? You will say, no, I didn't see the self. You say, did you just think about the self? No, I wasn't thinking about it. Then if I say, then how do you know? Most likely you will just say, but I just know. You see, I just know. And that just know is very valuable intuitive insight actually. It's very valuable intuitive insight because it is beyond perception. It is beyond objects. So when this is known in this way but not in the head, you see, then we can trust that if guidance is coming along with that, that must be coming from my heart, because only intuitively is the self known. It is not known through any other means. So if the self is known during that time and guidance is coming, means we must be relying on our intuition. You see? So depending on what feels most natural to you, you can start by just checking if there's the presence of unconditional love, which is not demanding anything. So that should be the simplest. You can find some love, say yes, there's a presence of love, and I'm being guided either to go for my meeting or to listen to satsang or to go to satsang. And as you get used to following that love, the perfume of that unconditional love, it will lead you to just simple insight into the presence of God within you, the Sadguru presence within you. And you will find that that presence guides you, that guidance comes from that presence as well. Then things seem to be very straightforward because the presence guides our every step, our every movement. You see, and not always in the form of words. Sometimes it just moves you. You see, initially it'll happen that way, that it just starts moving us in ways which we didn't think was possible, because we thought we were planning everything and doing everything based on thought. And now so many things are happening in this beautiful unfolding. You see? This could
Yes,
also,
when you
yes,
don't feel effort,
yeah,
that's
right. Yeah,
if you don't feel effort to do something, then you know it's in the flow of God.
yeah, yeah.
That's how I can tell. I don't need to push to get something through. Like,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
initially it is fine. Initially it is fine to feel, to just notice that is there resistance, is there thing like that, and just follow your heart effortlessly. But there will come a point where God Himself will guide you to things which seem like the most difficult things. You see? They will seem like the most difficult things. God will challenge you to go beyond your mind's boundaries, and the mind will make that so resistive. You see, so although initially it will seem easier to live in God's presence and by God's light, it will seem effortless. You're right about that. But as you mature in this, you will also be challenged by God. So don't always feel like this will be the easy path always, because sometimes God will say the most, like, things which we could not have imagined. Like suddenly, oh, pack your bags and go there. you see, and talk to this one or do this. But don't worry, don't stress about that at the moment. Initially, you just follow the love and follow the presence. Life will become a very easy flow. And when you start to live in the flow so much, you see, it seems so natural, everything, then you may hear God's guidance, even on the simplest things. But sometimes God's guidance could be something which may seem very difficult to the mind also. So I'm just preventing you making a condition saying it's always the easy thing, because the mind will play that very easily or say, oh, this is easy, this is easy. So don't predetermine in any way how God will guide you. Sometimes mostly it will seem very easy, actually, effortless, but there could be some times where some conditions have to be thrown out of us. You see, some fear has to leave us. So sometimes the guidance can seem very difficult to follow. You see, but you will know, your nose to smell where the guidance is coming from will become better and better at capturing the scent. So you'll be guided in this way. So I laid out the steps which you could follow to follow your heart's guidance. And remember that most importantly, your intention to follow God will make grace out of even the mind's trickiest play. So that itself is a great gift from God itself. Very good. I bless you and all my love. May God's grace guide your every step, and may you learn to live your life in God's will and in service to God. Full blessings.
Thank you.
So welcome, my child. Very good. Okay, let's go to Beatrice. Good to see you here.
Namaste, Father.
Yeah, good.
I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Good. Welcome. Very welcome. So all that thing is all washed out, it's all clean now? Or?
Yes.
Very.
I would like to offer you everything again. And thank you.
So welcome.
I love you, Father.
You too, my
Thank
child.
you so much.
Very good. Very good. All my love, all my blessings. Amrita is back. Well, like you just wanted to say namaste and then go.
The battery died.
Did you get a new phone?
No?
This one seems much more clear and audio is also good.
Yeah, this is new one, Father. Well, like now become old, but 3-4 months.
Very good.
Thank you, Father. I just wanted to share that.
I heard some good news from Anuj yesterday.
Yes, Father. I mean, but it's here it doesn't feel anything as such. Like it's whatever it needs to be done, like he's doing, and but there's no thing to it, kind of thing. It pretty much feels more like a closure also.
Very good. Very good. Just accept it as God's grace and God's prasad, and
yes, it's like
right. Not to judge it or not to.
No, it's not happening that way at all. It's all grace, Father. In fact, it's so. From few days, it's been. Your words are so much ringing in my heart. Like this lane is very narrow. Only one will go.
Very good. Very good.
And It's this me is becoming so unbearable. In fact, it feels like, there's a choice moment to moment. It's there, and out of habit or out of sometimes compulsion, or the way the mind's interest, it's just seen. It's so potent, and sometimes feels so helpless with that. Though it's in the awareness, but it just slips out. It feels like that, slipping out. And as you just talking to earlier just now, this is what is happening, Father. That everything is just shaking me up right now. Shaking in. I feel like God is being I'm being put to test, kind of, to choose and shed to most stickiest of the attachment, or to most stickiest of the thought I have for anything for that matter. And there is a kind of frustration also, because the mind there's no control in the thing, which mind, the usual way of to feel that I'm in control. And suddenly it feels that it's such a delusion.
Yeah.
Like I'm so deluded with this thought, and so strongly believed in this thought that I am something, and I at times bigger than God. I'm so like in the prayer, in the samadhi prayer, when you're saying that, like, as a sinner, and the sinner to think that I am something and can do something is such a
Exactly. Very good.
it just came up to give me all the power and the strength to choose the truth about everything, moment to moment.
Very good. Very good. Yes, you have it. You have it. This is your primal power, and nobody can force you to live in the ego shadow if you choose to live in God's light. So, moment to moment, thought by thought, and it's okay. It'll happen that you buy into some notion, but don't let it perpetuate, and don't become guilty, unworthy, all these ideas. Just every moment is a fresh start. Every moment is a beginner's moment. Is it? So, if you treat every moment as a beginner at God's feet, then we'll never be humble, we'll never be proud, we'll never be egotistical. You see? So, just it doesn't matter what happened, whether you got caught up in something, doesn't matter. Start fresh, empty, empty.
Otherwise, the story never ends, Father. It's something or the other.
Yeah.
And
Never
it's
ending narrative.
yes.
We have to end it. No? Midway, just end it. Don't wait for a logical conclusion. Don't wait for anything to happen. Just now finish.
I'm just really feeling to come and be in your presence and just just be there for at least some time to.
Yeah. So let's make it happen. We'll be in touch about this.
Yes, Father.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Love you, Father.
Love you. Okay. Let's see if Samya is back.
Hello.
Right.
I'm confused, Father.
Yes, yes.
I mean, yeah, I'm confused and I cannot figure out on my head anymore some things.
Besides the confusion, which is basically conflicting thoughts, no? What is confusion? Means 1 minute this thought seems right, 1 minute this thought seems right, and we feel like we get giddy trying to follow two opposite seeming thoughts, isn't it? That's confusion. But besides this confusion, what else is there with you? He's working hard not to smile. I can see that.
That which is always here.
Yes. And which one is that? Who is that?
Presence.
Yes. Whose presence? Who can have a presence? Yeah. So one thing that you will not be able to do is you will have to say either that it is your presence or it is God's presence. You see? Otherwise, like nobody is able to say, oh, there's some presence here. Usually you have to say it's I am. Or if you want a different set of words, you're able to say that it is God. So is it your presence? Is it just some random guy there? Whose presence is it? Huh?
No, it just doesn't remove the confusion which is coming back again and again for you to show this presence, you know, like sometimes some things needs to resolve and this doesn't help.
It doesn't help. So, okay, so I'll show you how it finishes all confusion.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I just show you. We can try it together, okay? And if I'm wrong, then I'll sit and be confused along with you.
You are,
Both.
Father. We
Huh?
did it many times before.
Yes. So, and it never worked before?
It didn't remove the confusion. Like if they are coming again and again, maybe it needs to be looked at. So
yes. So Okay, so what you're saying is that the problem at the mind's level must sometimes be resolved at the mind level, isn't it?
I don't know in mind level, but I feel like it needs to be resolved or addressed. Yes.
Yes. So, but to address it, like the problem is in the neighborhood, it's in one of the houses, then we have to go to the right house to resolve it. No, if you go to the wrong house, it won't get resolved. So, what is the right house to resolve it? Now, there's a problem. The problem is that the mind says that we must look at these things at a worldly level and fix it, because you can't get into this kind of just go to God and forget everything else. How could you do that? No, you have to resolve it in the world. The problem is in the world. And the sages say that the no problem can ever be resolved at the level that it was created. A problem must only be transcended. You see? Now, who do you feel like is telling the truth?
No one.
No one. No one. All liars everywhere.
Yeah.
That is the confusion.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't feel much attracted anymore, like your way. Yeah, I see that it's really resolved, but yeah, I see that it works, of course, but
But you don't want it to work.
no.
If it works, then what is the problem?
It's not easy, maybe.
So you sort of predicted that it is going to be very easy, and that's why you said, we've done this
No,
before. Let's not.
not in that way. Maybe it doesn't bring the things which I'm expecting.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that?
Yeah, I see that it works. I see in my life always it works, but the result, even though it always works, there is no problem. The result which I am expecting in the world or from world, it is not so.
Yeah.
And I still hold on to this expectation, and this is where I'm entangled.
Yeah. So if you had to pick between holding on to the presence, which you may not conclude at the moment is God's presence, although a few weeks back you may have, or last week also, but or you had to hold on to between the presence and your expectations, which would you hold?
Of course, presence. I'm not happy to hold on to these expectations, but they are there. I feel unhappy. I don't know, like I have still some desire. I don't know whatever they are, like.
Yeah.
I want to be loved.
Yeah.
Very simple one. I want to have friends. Very simple one. I'm just so tired of being alone or moneyless or all this stuff. Yes.
So, but if you had to exchange all that for presence, would you?
Of course, no.
Of course.
But it doesn't have to be in that way, Father. I don't feel like it's the truthful way of being or living. I don't feel really.
When you say feel, are you saying think?
No, this is what I see, Father. I don't feel it's really health. I don't know.
Yes. When you say feel, is it a feeling or a thought?
It's seeing. It's not feeling. It's not thought.
Okay. So what is
when you say that when something is not healthy, or Guruji is saying that you can see this, no? And I feel that there is something is not really healthy in my life, or I don't know, not the word healthy, but yeah.
Yes.
Like maybe I still believe that there is something wrong with me.
Yes. And that,
And it's
and you're saying that that is the right conclusion. Something is wrong
okay. I
with
will follow your way, Father.
no, let's, so you're saying that you see it, that something is wrong with you and something is wrong with your life. No? You see it. And
maybe
that
I'm
must,
just
huh?
maybe I'm just too weak. I'm too weak.
Yes, but so something is wrong with you, something is wrong with your life, maybe I'm too weak. All this you want to conclude to be the truths, or you're open to really exploring an alternative perspective?
I don't want to explore or something. I just want to transform. I just want transformation.
Yes, and you want transformation according to your expectations or according to your presence?
Well, presence, I never seen that it's like this to my, I mean, presence always bring happiness to me and fulfillment. So I don't feel like they are opposites.
Okay. So then if you were to be in presence now, what's the problem? It will be in presence.
Life is not that much easy.
But your face is saying something else.
No, like
It can't be that easy. No, that's the complaint. I've heard this many times in hearing Satsang. You can't just say drop it. It's not fair. I've built up these problems over the last so many days. And now you say just leave it in presence. That's unfair. That's the beauty of God's light, my child. That's the beauty of God's light. The instant you return to the refuge of God within you, what else can we want from life? Suppose this went away. Suppose this went away. Then can we have friends and can we have money and can we have whatever, people who love you and all of that? No, you'd be dead anyway.
I don't want them apart from this. I don't even want them.
Yeah. Then?
Just again and again, I fall into same trip that I believe that I need them and I follow them. And each time I'm facing with something like.
Yes. So don't. So that's why we have satsang thrice a week.
But still you can.
You can?
No. No.
Try to ride two horses. You see, if you try to ride two horses at the same time, that's when life becomes difficult. Just, you know which horse you want to ride. Just stay with that. It's okay. Sometimes the mind will tempt you. It will say this, but look at this. This is problem. Some people will be mean to you. Some people will say some things. The mind will use that to try and pull you back in and say, this way that Ananta has spoken. Say.
Why I don't have any friends?
Why don't you have friends? If you have God as a friend.
Yeah,
And what
he
am
is
I?
the best.
Am I Gajar Muli? Huh? So in India, we have this saying that when a child is throwing a tantrum, for example, saying, "Oh, but I don't have friends, and nobody likes me at school," and things like that, then the parent may say, "But I'm not. I am with you. I'm not Gajar Muli. So Gajar Muli, I'm not carrots or radish. I count for something." Like in the West, they would say, "What am I, chopped liver?" You see? So, but even that reference doesn't work always. So all of us, how many of us are friends with Samya? Let's put up our hand. No. You have,
I can't see them.
you can't
Yeah,
see.
I probably won't allow them.
So you have too many friends. Nothing is missing in God's light, my child. Nothing is ever missing. The whole trip of the mind is to convince you that something is not enough. Something can be better, you see. But it is this better and worse which makes our life a living hell. You're so blessed to have access to this holy presence within you. All those people who are not being your friends, I'm sure very rare among them would be this depth of presence. All this is going to go soon. All this is going to go soon. Only God will remain. So value your highest insight. Value that which your heart knows is truly valuable. Don't lose yourself in things which are just here tomorrow, today, gone tomorrow. Yeah? You can't speak?
I just saw a message. I laugh at that. I laugh at that. So, okay, I just want to say that I'm actually of when I
just want to say that the tantrum is over, basically, or no?
It's for now.
For now, no guarantee, but for now.
It comes. It's not me.
I see.
So I can on behalf of that, I can still believe.
I see.
No, I just need to say that, of course, I'm just so happy, even in my aloneness, and I cannot tell. I don't even need to tell how I'm happy with my invisible friend. And actually, I cannot sometimes bear people, my friends. So, like, yeah, I don't know what is this, but it's not important now. But it just come frequently. So
you're basically saying it's perfect.
yes,
They're not your friends, but you can't bear them anyway. So it's better that they're not your friends. So everything is perfect.
no, it's still like why I still like, but
Yeah,
still why
you should have
have
the right
people.
not to like them and send them away when you like. But whenever you feel like you want friends, they should appear.
Whenever I need friends appear,
They
yes.
should come. But when you can't bear them, they should all just go away. Yeah?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Father, it's not about this. I don't know if
Okay.
it's
It's okay. Yes.
fighting. Yeah. Mm. Okay, but may I share something?
Yes.
Mm. I also share this with you, like I'm going other teachers, I'm visiting them time to time. It's not because I need any teacher or I follow them or I need, but it's only because I want to be in that field, you know, just only for this. And I can only engage and speak with people who have also guru. And that's why I love to go there. But each time when I go there, it's like they throw something about my guru, and this is where I cannot bear. Like, okay, I come here and I show you respect, but like when I hear something not so respectful about my guru, of course, this is where I'm done, like very naturally and normally. And this is where this confusion starts. Again, I'm alone. Like, yeah, this is where all this stuff is happening, and I don't have Sangha here. I don't have Sangha. Only this way I can talk with you. And everyone is with their guru in my country. So, yeah, this is the situation. And of course, I choose Guruji. Like, I cannot be with people who are, So, I just want to ask for your blessings again to go to Sahaja, which is again arise in my heart. And this is also why I am kind of like obsessed with money, because I need money to go to Guruji. Only for this reason I'm asking for a job or money. Otherwise I don't need. Whatever I need, God sends me. I'm okay with this. So only for Guruji these things come and catch me.
So, what is the contract with God, that He sends you the money that you need, but His bank account will not go into overdraft if He sends you money for Sahaja also? No? Is it like that? What is the arrangement with God? God sends you everything that you need except the money that you need to go to Sahaja. He'll send you, my child, don't worry. He'll send you everything that is true from your heart, because the heart is His heart, it's God's heart. He cannot create the impulse or the longing for something and not enable it then.
Yeah, I just want to be like needy. That's why.
You want to be needy?
I don't want to be needy.
I don't want.
That's why I want to earn my money or stuff. Yeah, like just this. Okay.
You're good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, my love.
Yeah, my best friend.
Okay, so one friend at least you have, no? Okay, let's go to the last one, Sylvia.
Hello.
My dear.
I felt a calling to come. Yeah.
Do you feel that God's presence is apparent to you?
Yes, Father.
Very good, very good. Very good.
Um,
Mm.
the reason I see that during the days, especially when I'm not in the presence of the Sangha or in Satsang, watching Satsang, come all kinds of tricks
Yes.
or kinds of states
Yes.
in which sometimes I'm going, somehow I'm allowing this, and pride, arrogance. So I'm starting not to want this anymore.
Is it reducing?
If they are reducing, or yeah, like with Guruji's grace, yeah, no, just yeah. Even in satsang with you, and a lot of resistance can play a lot, and sometimes I believe it, and I identify with. Yeah.
So stop it then. It's in your power. You can stop it. Nothing can hold you hostage. Because to resist the one who is pointing you to God's light is the most tricky, the most dangerous one, no, in this lifetime. So, yes, thought by thought, let it go. Do you trust that God's presence is apparent here in this one who is speaking to you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all that you need to know. So that when the mind comes and resists and says blah, 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 you say, God's light is apparent, that's all.
Yeah. And it lately came, yeah,
It's okay, say it, say it.
to not waste this life, because sometimes I can see that you can spend a lot of time trying to, believing that you get it, and actually it's not the right way, and I don't want to waste this life. This came very strongly lately by Guruji's grace, and not to feel guilty for this resistance, but yeah.
I'm sending you all my blessings, all my love, and may you just allow all these thoughts and interpretations to just come and go. May you live in your heart. May you live in God's light. If it is my Master's grace, may it be so.
Thank you, Father.
Yes. You can play something.
येन माया 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 तग नि हम ठग नि हम ठग नि हम माया 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 ठग नि हम ठग नि हम ठग नि हम माया ये माया 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 ठग नि हम ठग नि हम ठग नि हम तेरा गुण पास तेरा गुण पास तेरा गुण पास लिए कर डोले तेरा गुण पास लिए कर डोले बोले मधुरी बाणी बाणी बोले मधुरी बाणी बाणी माया माया ठग नि हम ठग नि हम के कमला है बैठी कमला है बैठी के कमला है बैठी शिव भव न भवानी शिव भव न भवानी पंडाल के मूरत है बैठी तीरथ में भरी पानी पानी तीरथ में भरी पानी पानी माया माया ये माया 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 ठग नि हम ठग नि हम ठग नि हम माया के माया माया ठगनी हम जाने ठगनी हम जाने जाने माया योगी के योगी के योगिन है बैठी योगिन है बैठी योगी के योगिन है बैठी राजा के घर राजा के घर काहू के हीरा है बैठी काहू के कोड़ी काली काली काहू के कोड़ी काली काली माया 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 ठगनी हम जाने भक्तन के भक्तिन है बैठी भक्तन के भक्तिन है बैठी ब्रह्मा के ब्रह्मा कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो ये सब अकथ कहानी माया 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 ठगनी हम जाने ठगनी हम जाने जाने माया
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Moji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevala.